study,
and play come together on a Windows 11 PC.
And for a limited time, college students get
The best of both worlds.
Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
This is what everyone's talking about.
Everything's on the table.
This is what champions come to take. This is what everyone came to see.
And the slam!
No do-overs. No second chances. No more Mr. Nice Guy. This is winner take all. The NBA Finals continue on ABC and the ESPN app.
All right, you're obviously very emotional about your lawn.
I am.
You're also very emotional about getting a threatening letter, I guess, about lawsuits and stuff like that.
This is the plaintiff, Lisbeth Barrows. She says she hired the defendant to make her lawn look beautiful, and the guy made it actually look worse. When she complained, he told her there was nothing he was going to do to rectify the situation, and there's no way she's going to let the defendant get away with ripping her off, so she's suing for the $3,406 she's owed. This is the defendant, Steve Amort. He says the plaintiff kept overwatering her lawn and was slowly killing it. The plaintiff was very difficult to work with. She hasn't paid him for the work he completed, and he's done everything in his power to help her. Bottom line, he can't control how the woman takes care of her yard and doesn't owe her a refund. He's accused of being a pain in the grass.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mark and Lisbeth Barrows, represented here by Lisbeth,
Yes.
right? You are suing Steve Amort and Leah Mort Associates.
Yes.
Okay, and you are lawn care specialists?
Yes, I am.
All right, and you're suing them for $3,406, all the money that you have paid to them, because according to you, the lawn is defective and isn't growing correctly.
Correct.
Tell me what happened.
I was driving to work and I'd seen this yard, saw that it was dead grass, then I saw a load of loom put on, and then I saw green grass within months. I saw his sign. I called him and asked him, can you do this for mine? He came and looked at my yard. So he did that, came back in the spring, and had given me a lawn maintenance, for weed control that a company would normally do called a 5-step program. So he came in April.
What do you mean he gave you a lawn maintenance?
A program that he would come and do to take care of the lawn.
And so you hired him to do that?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, go ahead.
And he came in April. He did the step, or whoever. I'm not there when they come. So I think it was before the second step. I called him because I said, my lawn's dying. I got this brown spots here and there.
So when did you call him? What month?
I believe it was the end of May or the middle of May. And he said, he just told me it was called red thread. He said, everybody has it. I didn't look it up. I had no idea what red thread was. I didn't know if it was treatable or not. But he didn't do anything. He said, I'll come back and do the second step. They did the second step.
Does he mow your lawn?
No, he gave me somebody that he knew.
And you hired that person?
And I hired that person.
Okay, go ahead.
Then, so he put the steps down, and he came in July. He did some other work. He put the step down. But my lawn looked totally horrible.
What are the steps that you're putting down? What is she talking about?
Well, that's the fertilizing.
Okay.
And then there's a grub preventative, and there's a liming.
A what?
A liming, lime. What she's talking about when she talked about the red thread, it's brought on, it's a fungus. Most lawns get funguses through the season, and they're very hard to control. They're not life-threatening to the lawn. They're a little bit unsightly, but they work their way out. And
So they're not treatable?
They are treatable if you want to spend, every 2 weeks you have to spend a couple of $100 to put these things, these fungicides down.
So, and how does the fungus come?
It's brought on by humidity, Your Honor.
Okay. Can I see the pictures?
Yes.
And what do most clients do? Do they say take care of it?
No, they don't. In fact, I do not put down fungicides because they don't work that well.
The last page is the house that I went by and looked at.
Okay, well, someone has grass. The grass is greener on that other side's house. Yes, I understand that. All right, so she had owed you a certain amount of money on the 5-step program, right?
She had, yes, a certain amount of money, but she had owed me money I did a pruning job. I came in end of June. I met with her. We talked about the lawn. There was a few spots in there. There was a few weeds. But on a whole, the lawn was doing very well when I came in June. I did a pruning job for her July, the 1st, I think it was the 3rd of July, for $800. I put down a grub preventative. I put down another fertilizer. I sprayed the weeds. And then the chase was on. She was supposed to give me a check. I waited. I called her, I don't know how many times through the summer. I also told her, when I called, I left messages, Liz, Mrs. Barrows, excuse me, you need to stop watering the lawn as much as you're watering it.
Start or stop?
Stop.
How did you know that she was watering the lawn?
Because I monitor it. I go by all the time. Plus...
Wait. You go by and you see her watering it?
No, by looking at it. I can tell by looking at it, Your Honor.
Okay.
I can tell by certain things that are going on with the lawn if it's being taken care of properly. And what I do from that point is I'll call the customer. I'll say, look, the two biggest problems
Did he ever call you and tell you were overwatering it?
No.
Not only did I tell her, but the fellow that was taking care of the lawn, who happens to be a friend of mine, had contacted me on several occasions, said, look, you got to call Mrs. Barrows and tell her that she's overwatering the lawn.
Was that fellow telling you you're overwatering?
Nope.
Well, I have a notarized statement from him.
Let me see.
Nope. He never told me.
Is he still your lawn guy?
Nope.
Not for long?
Nope.
You already cut him off?
My lawn was wet at one time, and he mowed it and dug up all these holes. But
when did he stop being your lawn guy?
I believe it was in July.
So then you fired him?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he writes this letter in October after he's been fired, saying, during the season I mentioned to her she was overwatering and to talk to Steve Amort about it. All right.
If you look at those pictures, they sure don't look wet.
Does the excessive watering lead to this red thread or whatever this is?
Yes, Your Honor, but it's brought on by humidity, too. But the watering doesn't help.
You end up paying him the $800, the outstanding balance. Yes. And then you decide to go to court and sue for every penny.
The reason that I did that, okay, was because in August he sent me this letter and said that he had problems collecting payment for my services, and I did not want to work further for you. And then when I called him and said, Steve, you need to fix it, I have a video here where I was walking around after I got this letter, looking at my yard, because it's like I was just going to hold that $988 that I owed him to say, I'll forget about the lawn. But when I got this letter and it said this, I said, I'll go into small claims court and I will pay him the money, which I did send him a check, because I said it is a different, it's not part of it.
Let me see the video that you took. Do you have somebody else doing your lawn right now?
Yes.
Okay, so you have somebody else mowing it and somebody else treating it?
Yep.
Do you have, and they're not here obviously because I see that, do you have affidavits from them as to
I have a letter here, well, a bill, I think that it's
No, a bill is no good. A bill is just for services rendered. What I wanted to know is there a professional that says that there's something that he did wrong that caused you to have the red thread, and that therefore, I should conclude that they have to pay you back every penny?
No. No, I didn't ask him to.
So how are you planning on proving your case?
I just, like I said, it looks like there was nothing ever put down on my lawn. Like, I wasn't there. It was green last fall, and then this year, it looks like, it almost looks like he put stuff on it to kill it and grow weeds. I mean, those weeds are enormous. I go by other lawns, and I've asked, like True Green and them, their lawns don't look like that.
Why does her lawn look so bad? Why does it have weeds coming up, and why are there big patches missing grass?
When I was there, Your Honor, the lawn was sopping wet. And I had told her that you need to cut back on the watering. Plus, a lot of these funguses that you're talking about are brought on by dampness. So if the lawn is getting too much water, it creates problems.
How do you cure what she's got there?
It would take a core aeration and some overseeding, Your Honor.
What is core aeration?
It would be to open up the soil with the machine to create a seed bed and to overseed it, to lime it, and to put a starter fertilizer down, Your Honor.
What's that cost?
Well, I charged her in the springtime to do some overseeding and a core aeration, $165.
And then how, and your 5-step program, when is the next time that that's supposed to happen?
Well, it was supposed to happen in August.
And it didn't happen in August because she owed you for a different job that had nothing to do with the lawn?
It was for pruning and for grub preventative and for fertilizing.
Is that part of the STEP program or no?
Just the, here it is right here, Your Honor.
Just the what?
There was an $800 for pruning.
That's pruning the stuff that has nothing to do with the lawn?
That's exactly.
All right. You're obviously very emotional about your lawn.
I am.
You're also very emotional about getting a threatening letter, I guess, about lawsuits and stuff like that.
Well, it's because he didn't have to chase for his money. I don't think a 30-day period is chasing your money.
I don't know. It was more than a 30-day period. It was
well, the last one was, and that's when I said
July. Right, and
yes.
Clearly you had made the decision that you were going to hold an $800 pruning job hostage to the spots on your lawn, which you have not proven to me are an $800 job. You haven't proven to me it's a $10 job.
Well,
you haven't proven anything.
The thing is I paid $3,000 when my lawn looked like that.
Here's what I need you to understand, though, Ms. Barrows.
Okay.
You pay $3,000 for a lawn, and a lawn is a living, breathing thing that continues to force you to care for it.
Yes, and I do.
I'm not done speaking. Okay. So there is a X-step program that you bought that required some more attention in August. The attention, the only expert in the room tells me it required is core aeration and seeding it, which makes sense because then, and of course treating those weeds again. But the weeds come back. They don't come back once a year for Christmas. They come back all the time. You have to treat them all the time.
Yes.
The problem that you have is that when he's supposed to come back in August, he won't come back because you still haven't paid July 3rd's bill. Here's a missing element, though, that is giving me a problem, and you have to know this was going to come up. You can't just say, look, my lawn looks bad. I have to know they did something wrong.
Well, I don't know if he even put down the preventive. By all those weeds, it doesn't even look like he put it down.
Okay, then I'm sure that there would have been no problem with you getting this other landscape company to say, based on the weeds I'm seeing, they could not have put down a preventive.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if a landscaper does his work and then all of a sudden weeds start popping up a short time later, is the landscaper automatically responsible? What do you think?
Yes, he is, because that's what you're paying him for.
Okay, but can weeds pop up even if he does a good job?
It depends. It can't be years from when he did the work.
We're talking soon.
Yeah, he's responsible. He needs to get rid of them.
Can't weeds pop up just because weeds pop up?
Yes.
So is he automatically responsible? I'm not trying to grill you or anything.
Yes, he is.
Okay, but he's responsible. Why then?
That's why you're paying him.
Okay.
She seems to know.
Yeah.
Okay, you can't defer it here, going inside the courtroom.
The fact that your lawn doesn't look good since now is not enough.
Right.
You have to be able to show that they did something wrong, and you haven't. So my verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the plaintiff is unable to pin her problems on the defendant. Yep. It's about evidence, and so what's your feeling now?
No, I'm very disappointed. It's like I've just wasted $3,000 because that's what my lawn looked like beforehand.
How competitive are these lawn wars? It could be a new reality show, lawn wars, with your neighbors.
Oh, there's none with my neighbors. Like I said, it's not with my neighbors.
No, you're like their grass is greener than mine. So.
No, I don't think of it that way. It's just I liked it. It looked good, and it's like I wanted it. It was weed free and everything else, and I just that's what I wanted.
Weeds grow.
Yeah.
All right,
you.
right this way, okay? All right, so come on in here. This is the lawn guy. Your reputation was at stake here?
It was at stake.
Or was this for money?
It wasn't
a matter
for money.
of money.
It wasn't a matter of money. It was my reputation.
Mm-hmm. You think it's intact here as you come out?
I'm very happy with the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
I think the judge was very fair.
You go by word of mouth, right?
I
Pretty
do.
much?
I do.
Can an unhappy customer like this hurt your business?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know.
You worried about what she might say?
No, I'm not. Not
All
at
right,
all.
Harvey?
Okay, short and sweet, the landscaper does not guarantee that there won't be weeds. What he guarantees is that he will do a professional job. That means that he can't promise that certain things are not going to happen that are outside of his control. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
This is the plaintiff, Randall Kearns. He says he was driving his car at 3:30 in the afternoon, came to a flashing red light, stopped, looked both ways, and started pulling out when the defendant rear-ended him. They got out of their cars. The defendant seemed very nervous and rushed, and as it turns out, the information the defendant gave him was invalid. He's not about to let the defendant treat him like a darn fool, so he's suing him for the $2,652.34 he's owed. This is the defendant, Hugh Murray. He says the plaintiff started to proceed through a light, then just changed his mind, slammed his brakes, and stopped short. Since he, too, was proceeding through the traffic intersection, by the time he started to brake, it was too late, and he tapped the plaintiff's bumper. Besides, the guy's a scammer because the car he was driving was a 1999 Pontiac Sunfire, and the crook is suing him for damage to a 2004 Chevy Cavalier. Oh, him? Ha! He's accused of tapping a rear end.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Thank you, Douglas. Randall Kearns, you are suing Hugh Murray for $2,652.34. The estimate of damages to your car that you say were as a result of his negligent driving. Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, I was up there in New York, and me and my girlfriend was on our way home, drove under the underpass into the there's a flashing red light there. I stopped back at the line, pulled up to the intersection so I could see better. I looked both ways, she looked away. There was a car went in past us, and she said, over there's the route we want to take. So I started pulling out. And that's when I got rear-ended.
You got rear-ended by him?
Yes.
Where in your car did he hit you?
Right in the
absolute back?
Bumper. Yes, the rear bumper, right where the license plate is, because it didn't.
Do you have pictures of the damage?
Yes, I do.
Let me see. All right, so did you both get out of your car?
Yes.
And what happened?
We got out. Of course, it didn't look like a lot, but the man offered me $100 to settle it right there on the spot. I told him no. He said I could give you more money if you want more money. I said no, I'd just as soon have your insurance and everything.
Where did it hit? Because you're taking this picture up above.
Where is it on this side?
You know what I'm gonna need you to do? I'm gonna need you to come here. I'm gonna need you to show me where the damage is.
Okay.
And I realize that sometimes it's hard to take a picture of damages, but what is this a picture of?
That is how much arch is in the trunk lid after it was hit.
Okay, and so this would correspond to what here? I can't see it because it's up here?
Yes.
Okay, I got it. All right. This is what?
This is the where this is the license plate. Okay, right here. If you look across here, this is supposed to be out even all the way across, and it's pushed back.
Okay. What is this supposed to show me?
Right there on the license plate is where it hit. It really doesn't look like it's been a lot, but it's been in.
What does this show?
See this gap right here?
Uh-huh.
That's another close-up of the gap.
Okay. Do you have how many estimates did you get for the repair?
I got one estimate.
Yeah, go ahead and go back and hand me the estimate, please. Oh, by the way, did you folks call the police?
No.
Why not?
Your Honor, because at the time I felt that since we were able to drive away, that it wasn't necessary.
What do you think about that now?
I think I ought to call the police every time
Right.
because since they didn't investigate it, I had to do most of the work at finding his insurance companies and stuff all by myself.
Okay, but didn't he give you his insurance company's name?
I just got information off of his...
Did you call whatever information you did get?
Yes.
And what'd they say?
They told me he wasn't insured in the state of New York, and his vehicle...
Whose idea was it not to call the police? Yours?
Yes.
Yeah, bad idea. All right, so what happened?
Mr. Kearns and I were both waiting, and I was behind Mr. Kearns at the light. I have pictures of the light and the turn that we were at, and when...
What year is this car?
This car is a 04 Chevy Cavalier.
Okay, I'm sorry, so go ahead.
Right, I was at the light behind Mr. Kearns, and a couple of cars had gone by. Mr. Kearns and I guess the young lady next to him were kind of lost because they said that when they got out of the car.
Okay.
When he began to go, if you could see in the pictures, the line where you're supposed to stop is back pretty far, and there's a bush on the left-hand side. As I'm making a turn, I started to ease up. I'm on the brake. And the way Mr. Kearns said it is I rear-ended him and slammed into him. I was easing off the brake and just looking left to see if there were any cars coming, and there were none. So I started to go. Mr. Kearns, who, for whatever reason, I think it was because he was lost, he was on the wrong side of the parkway, slams on his brakes, and I tapped him. We exchanged information.
Okay, but under even the language you use, which is far less damning than the language he used, slam versus tap, you do admit that the accident's your fault, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh, okay, because who else's fault is it going to be? You're supposed to pay attention
I'm
to...
saying, yes.
You know, if you're following too closely to be able to stop safely, it's your fault that the accident happened.
Correct.
All right, so go on.
So I came out of the car, and Mr. Kearns got out, and we, looked at it. There wasn't there. I did say, look, do you just want, I'll give you $100. There's no damage, and you can go away. He says to me that, no, I'd rather exchange insurance. So I exchanged insurance cards.
Did you have insurance?
Yes, I have a card.
Show me
right
your
here.
insurance. Is it paid up or did it get canceled?
No, it never got canceled. I even have a letter from my insurance company because I called it in that day, about an hour and a half later.
Okay. And did you give him the correct information?
Yes, I did. I handed him the insurance card. I only have one.
This is a letter you got for court, right?
Yeah, to come here. That I did call it in. I did everything I was supposed to. I even offered Mr. Kearns that day, do you want to call the police? I hadn't had an accident in 25, 30 years. So I wasn't used to it. He said, nah, there's nothing there. So we agreed to...
He said, nah, there's nothing there.
Yes.
But there's a little something there. I mean, that's why I had to make him come up here.
Judge, it gets better.
I mean, it's $2,600 worth of damage for, I don't know, what do they... That's why I don't like... There are circumstances where you can look at the car and then you can look at one estimate and you can say, yep. And then there are circumstances where you look at an estimate and you say, what?
Judge, it gets better. After we parted, I get a call, several calls a few days later from Mr. Kearns saying that my insurance was wrong and this and that, and I told him it's right. Have your insurance company contact my insurance company, and they'll work it out. I didn't think I was going to get sued. I thought they were going to work it out. I paid for insurance.
Right.
What happens is when he says to me, well, I need $1,400, and I have a statement from my wife because she answered the phone a couple of times with Mr. Kearns, and he says that he turned around and I said, your car's not worth $1,400, a 1999 Pontiac. He goes, no, I was driving a 2004 Chevy Cavalier. I said, dude, that's insurance fraud. You can't do that. You can't change cars after the accident.
Wait, what makes you say he was driving a 99 Pontiac?
Because that's the information he gave me, and it said Pontiac on the car.
Are people typically dishonest when they're in a car accident in terms of asking for a certain amount of money for repairs?
Yeah.
Why is that?
They
I mean,
don't-
people who may not be dishonest otherwise, they're dishonest here. Why?
They don't want to have to pay as much to fix their car.
Well, no, but they're trying to get more money than they're even entitled to get. Why are people dishonest?
They're trying to get probably their old jalopy fixed up. They had probably had damages before that. They just want to get it fixed.
Yeah, but what I'm asking is, would otherwise honest people become dishonest in a car accident case?
Well, it's, yeah, very possible. You know, they could just lose all their money. And, you know, what if they're living on a limited budget?
No, but I'm saying when you would overinflate the cost of repairing it. Is that typical?
Well, yeah, if I have a lot of bills.
Oh, okay, so they're going to pay your bills. I got it. Going inside the courtroom.
Okay, but did someone also tell you it was a Pontiac? Your insurance company tell you it was a Pontiac, that tag was registered to a Pontiac? In other words, here's what's happening. The accident happened on what day?
Saturday.
What day?
The June 23rd.
There's a lot of Saturdays in my
June
life.
23rd, Your
June
Honor.
23rd. On June 22nd, he switched registration on that tag from one car to the other the day before the accident. And that took a while, apparently, to get recorded, but I have his. Show me the original. I have a copy. I want to see the original. Effective June 22nd, the day before, what happened?
That's when the car was registered.
What car?
The 04 Chevy Cavalier.
The registered. All right.
Yeah.
And what happened to the other car, the Pontiac?
The Pontiac was sold 3 weeks before that.
Okay. So I have the registration that shows me that the day before it got registered to. So I think what was happening is that perhaps your insurance company is telling you, oh, that's registered to it, because it takes a bit to get that in process. But I have the registration that shows that. So your recollection's not so good. Did you ever call them and tell them it would be $1,400?
I never called him and asked for a different note or anybody
What do you
else.
think I'm asking?
Did I?
Do you think my question doesn't encompass his wife? Didn't you know that what I'm trying to drive at is why you asked for a different amount originally? So let's try that again.
No, Your Honor.
No. All right, let me see your wife's affidavit. He also tried to extort $1,400 from me for his car repair. That's not extorting.
Or else he never even mentioned suing. He's telling us to send him $1,400.
Yeah, I know. That's called settling. It's perfectly legal. There's nothing.
Well, he was getting very nasty on the phone.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I mean, I just said, go through the insurance, have your insurance call my insurance, and they'll work it out, you know. And I thought that was the end of it.
And how was he nasty on the phone?
The tone, you know. I mean, you could say.
Oh, you're sensitive.
You could say happy birthday, and in a nasty tone, it sounds pretty nasty.
Okay. There's no question about liability. This accident is not your fault, it's his fault. The question is damages, because I am looking at pictures where I have to really strain to see damage. And I have one estimate, and that one estimate is for a really large amount, $2,600. I have an allegation that you asked for half of that one time when you called, and I don't have a second or third estimate. People usually bring me a couple of estimates so that I can see how much the damage is, and I know that you're not bloating it. I'm having some difficulty with the idea that they would make up that you asked for $1,400, because $1,400 is not a small amount. If they're going to make up that you asked for a lesser amount, they're going to make up that you asked for $500 or $300. They're not going to make up that you asked for $1,400. So that right there is sort of a red flag for me that bothers me. And if that bothers me, then everything else starts to bother me too. So I have to decide how much that damage that I can see is worth. And when I'm deciding that, I am taking into consideration my 20-something years on the bench, where I know that sometimes a picture doesn't capture it. And I know that things are always more expensive, because you know, if you've ever done any body work, it's always, you know, basically a dirty look, and it's going to cost you some bucks. But I'm still a little annoyed at this discrepancy in the amounts. I am going to award the plaintiff $1,400 for the repair of the car. That is my judgment. Let your insurance company know, because they should be covering it. All right? Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Sue, the defendant has to say, coming out on the losing end of this case, he didn't get everything he sued for, but he got a good chunk.
Yeah, I think the judge was fair. I did hit his car, but I didn't think there was that much damage whatsoever.
1,400. You see it as 100, and he sees it as 1,400. There's a little.
Yeah, there's a big jump there, but I just think he jacked up the bill.
Mm-hmm. You're going to go to your insurance company now and try to get this back?
I'll talk to them, yes.
Let me hear you say happy birthday in a nasty tone.
Happy birthday.
All right. Thank you. Right down this way.
All right, thanks.
Okay. All right, step on in here. Satisfied with what you come out of here with? 1,400.
In some ways, 1,400. So.
He offered you $100 right at the scene?
Yes, he did.
$100, and did it look
was
like
an insult?
Uh-huh. All right, Harvey?
You know, when you're in a situation like this, you always have to bring at least 2 estimates, preferably 3, because the judge has to see that whatever you're asking for is reasonable. That will do it for this case. Litigants, for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel, maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
This is the plaintiff, Kim Hazel. She says she was walking her dog on a leash and the defendant drove by with her own dog in the car. Out of the clear blue sky, the defendant's dog leaped from the window of the moving car, lunged at her with his teeth and saliva in plain view, and viciously attacked her dog. She also lost her bracelet in the scuffle, and her pinky nail was torn clear off. Now she has the fear of God in her, can't sleep, and wants the $2,521.05 she's owed. This is the defendant, Erica Early. She says her dog simply went over to the plaintiff's dog to play, not attack. Nothing happened to the plaintiff's dog, but she gave the woman her phone number just in case. Now the plaintiff's suing her for a vet bill where the diagnosis states her dog has high blood pressure? High blood pressure? How in the world is that her fault? She's accused of having a jumpy dog.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome.
Okay, Ms. Hazel.
Yes.
You are suing Ms. Early for $2,521.05 for damages that occurred when her dog attacked you and your dog. Tell me what happened.
On June 2nd, Your Honor, I was walking my small Pekingese in a subdivision about 3 blocks from where I live. Her car drove past me.
Was your dog on a leash?
Yes, my dog was on a leash, little small Pekingese. We were on a leash walking.
Do you have a picture of your dog?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay.
We were walking. She was on a leash. Miss Early's vehicle drove past. As her vehicle slowed to go over a speed bump.
Hold on a second. Was that a picture of her?
That's after.
But right after?
No, that's 2 months after the incident.
When you took a picture of your dog, you don't have your dog look at the camera?
She wouldn't. I'm sorry.
All right, go ahead.
At which time, as Miss Early's vehicle was going over the speed bump, the pit bull, I thought, fell out the window initially. So me and my dog, we stopped in our tracks.
How does a pit bull fall out a window?
She did not, ma'am.
What did she do?
She jumped out.
Why is a pit bull able to jump out of a moving window? I mean, out of a moving car. Your windows were down?
My windows were down. They weren't all the way down, but enough for the dog to get out.
Oh, that wasn't very wise.
No, it wasn't.
So that dog got out, and you had a second dog in the car?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened with that dog?
She jumped out as well.
Okay, what kind of dog was the second dog?
A Border Collie mix.
All right, so you see a pit bull flying at you, which I imagine is a sight that you never thought you would see.
No.
And what happens?
As the dog is charging at me in the teeth and the saliva, I picked my little dog up. And so as I had the leash and the collar in my hand and her dog was attacking, I'm hitting the dog, screaming and hollering.
What are you hitting the dog with?
The leash and the collar. That's all I had in my hand.
Okay.
And I'm screaming and yelling. I don't think she realized that the dog had even gotten out the car.
How do you have the collar in your hand?
Because my dog, when it fell out my arms and dropped to the ground, that's all that was left. The collar came right off her neck.
Okay.
And finally, it seemed like forever, she finally got out the car and she tried to get that first pit bull. And as she was getting that dog, that's when the second dog came out the window, tried to get my dog again, and I'm running down the street. My dog took off like there was no tomorrow. So at which time, she gained control of both of her dogs finally. And I told her, well, I need to get some information from you. I don't know where my dog is.
All right, now, Ms. Early, you stopped right away, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you notice your pit bull jumping out of the window when your pit bull was jumping out of the window, or you heard the commotion and realized it had happened?
No, as I was going over the speed bump, I turned my head and saw my dog's tail going out the way.
Oh my gosh.
So I slammed it in the park and I ran down the road.
Right, so then you run out, and how do you gain control over your pit bull?
I tell her. I tell her to stop, and my dog, I'm sorry, ma'am. My dogs are very well-behaved dogs.
I have no issue with your dogs. I have an issue with you.
Are pit bulls too aggressive? What do you think?
No, I don't.
Why don't you think?
It depends on the owner, and it's up to the owner to decide.
Well, why are there so many bad owners then? Because pit bull cases, it seems like there are more pit bull attacks than anything else. What do you think?
They don't know how to train their dogs.
Right, but why is it pit bulls? Why pit bulls? Anybody?
Is it in their genes?
That's my question. Going inside the courtroom.
It's all my fault that
Right.
my dogs jumped out of the car. And I agreed to pay Miss Kim for her dogs.
And we'll talk about that now because there's two parts of any lawsuit. One is liability and the other is damages. One is you did me wrong and the other is how wrong you did me. Okay? So as I understand it, you agree, hey, it's my window, it's my dog, and everybody has a responsibility to have control over their dogs, whether it's a leash, a better leash than the one you had, or close your windows. But you have to have control of your dogs. Your dogs can't just roam free and do that. So I know you understand that, and I know that your real defense is not, I don't have liability. Your real defense is that she's being greedy on the damages. And we'll go over that in 1 second. Yes. But right now, I just want to know what happened that day. So you walk out, and what happens?
I went to grab my dogs, and I got control of my Daisy, which is my pit bull mix. And then when I went to go turn around and put Daisy back in the car, I saw my other dog jumping out. I yelled at Patty, and I saw her dog run away. And then Patty came back.
You just commanded, and both dogs just stopped?
Yeah.
Got it.
That's how
And you take the dog to the vet that day?
Yes, that evening.
The vet does a full workup, full checkup. In fact, says to you, I want to keep your dog overnight.
That is correct.
All right. And gives you a $1,105 bill.
And 50 cents, yes.
And, well, you know, it's expensive to find out nothing's wrong. All right.
Yes.
So then you picked up your dog the next morning, was it?
That's correct.
All right. And now you call her and you tell her it's $1,105.
Yes,
and you
ma'am.
start a payment plan. But, oh, by the way, how much did you end up paying?
I only had $155.50 left to pay her.
What do you say she paid?
She paid everything minus the $155.50. That was the last that was not paid.
You both agree then that there's $155.50 left to pay on the original $1,105. Yes? And yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that takes that little issue away. All right, now, you're also suing for $583 for acupuncture.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I have a back injury, bending over, fighting with that dog. It re-injured my back, and I'm terribly. And along with the headaches that I was having, I could not sleep. I was reliving the whole incident. I went and I had acupuncture done for my back.
Okay, I need to see a statement by your acupuncturist that says that the reason that you have come back is because of this occurrence. In other words, it has to be on her, not just a receipt for acupuncture.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Had you been there before?
No.
Had you done acupuncture before?
Yes.
How long had you been doing acupuncture?
I did it the year before.
How many times had you done it?
2 different sessions of 10, which was 20.
When you write something out as an agreement for the two of you to sign, there's nothing there about her paying for the acupuncture, is there?
No.
And that's at the end of June. That's after you've already started seeing the acupuncturist.
At the time when this dog incident happened, my back, I guess maybe the adrenaline, I don't know what to call it, but afterwards, and I met with her and I've told her when we met at the bank, I said, my back is killing me, I'm hurting, I'm on my way to the doctor. So I didn't expect to have a reoccurrence with my back injury, but it did happen.
There was nothing about acupuncture. You're now suing for lost wages. Why are you suing for lost wages?
I missed a day of work.
You're also suing for $1,175.37 for pain and suffering? And that also wasn't part of the stuff you were talking about agreeing with a whole month after the incident.
The whole thing started shifting throughout.
The event happened June 12th?
Yes. No, when I took off from work. The chronos.
That's 10 days after the fight with the dog. That was June 12th. How are you going to link that day that you took off weeks later was as a result of something that happened?
I was trying not to have to take off at all, actually, from work.
Right, but you understand what I'm driving at, right?
Yes, I do.
That some things you can prove up very easily, and you have.
Right,
and some things are a little bit of a stretch, and, you know, you may or may not get.
And the same thing with the doctor's appointment with workman's comp. That was the earliest I could get in was the 15th.
Right,
so,
but that, you know, workers' comp is workers' comp, and what Erica Early has to pay is what Erica Early has to pay. Okay. Why did you stop paying?
I stopped paying because when I got on the phone with Miss Kim, she kept, she tried to, like, express the fact she wasn't trying to harass me or anything like that, but, like, I'm sorry, ma'am. It was more of her actions that was harassment than
What?
her words.
What?
Like just coming over with animal service cops. Like she
When?
came to my door saying that she was.
Your home?
Yes. Like she's deathly afraid of my animals, and then when I walked outside with my animals, she couldn't even point out them.
Really?
Yeah, because I have my dogs trained, and like I guess she just
Other than
couldn't
that whole
believe-
window thing.
Like, that was just such a bad time. It was. I was just trying to give my dogs like a little bit of air. We didn't have any air at my house,
Right.
and of course,
Right. Okay, so what ended up happening with animal control?
I have to go back to animal service courts on Friday and fight for my animals.
Your Honor, may I interject something, please?
Yeah.
I didn't go by her house. Animal control, she didn't give me her address.
Okay, here's what I think about all this. I want you guys to listen carefully to me. You're at fault, and I have to determine what she is at fault for. Okay, the acupuncture. You have, in fact, a letter from your acupuncturist saying that it was exacerbated. But then you have a bill that you wanted to pay the entire thing for. We know that you have a workers' comp issue, you have prior acupuncture, and you have prior back issues. So what I'm going to do is attempt to do a little rough justice and figure out exacerbation as opposed to it's all your fault that I have a back issue now. So I'm going to order her to pay for half of the acupuncture bill that you brought up. And certainly the $155.50 that she still owes, she's going to have to pay for. As for the lost wages, the proof is just way, way too thin that you end up taking a day off 10 days later. And as for pain and suffering, I also think that the proof is pretty thin for. You went through a difficult thing, and I'm sorry about that, and she's sorry about that, and she's paid almost $1,000 in, and you're going to pay more. You're going to pay an additional $447.50, and I believe at that point, then, the plaintiff will be made whole. Okay? I'm glad your dog is fine. I'm glad you feel like you have such a great command over your dogs, but you need to have a command over your mind, too, and maybe give him a little AC inside of the car as opposed to fresh air. All right? Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So the defendant comes out first on the losing end of this case. Step in here. First of all, the judge's decision. What's your feeling on this?
It's correct. I was at fault, so I understand why I have to pay. I just have to go back home and fight for my dogs now.
Yeah.
So that's a little. I'm sorry. I'm a little emotional about that.
Well, what about that? They're the pit bull, and there's a big issue about pit bulls, but you still love your dog like it was your child, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah, they're my family. I can't.
What about controlling them better?
I can always do that, and I'm going to ask as much as I can.
All right.
Thank
Good
you
luck.
very much.
Good luck. All right. Thank you. Head right down there. All right. All right. So step in here. You satisfied with what you got out of this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted the judge to understand that it was not covered through workman's comp. That was something I pay out of pocket, but yes.
How bad are the nightmares? What are these nightmares like? What's your worst nightmare now?
That dog is coming to get me.
A dead dog?
No. Her dog.
Oh, her
Those
dog.
teeth. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Harvey?
You know, under the law, dogs are actually considered property, but judges will typically award vet bills even if they exceed the value of the dog, simply because it is the humane thing to do.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.